On this episode, I'm taking this old gas can and we're turning it into something useful, like a toolbox. So these gas cans come in all different shapes and sizes. I picked this one just because it suits my needs the best. Scratched, dented, dirty. Yeah, she'll do. First thing we want to do is figure out the placement of the door. I'm just using like an old grease crayon just to kind of mark it, and I really am trying to get rid of that barcode if possible. Then I'm using masking tape just to kind of help back it up. You've got some options on actually cutting this metal up, but the tin snips, I'm just afraid it's going to kind of warp the edge, and I think that the angle grinder is just a little too overkill. But for this project, the Dremel. Before we start cutting, I'm going to put down a piece of scrap wood and then clamp it down to the actual can, leaving just the smallest gap of metal being seen, right between the masking tape and the wood. Before you get cutting, safety first. Safety first. Wear your eye protection, wear your ear protection, and most importantly, make sure your gas can is completely free of gas fumes or liquid. Luckily for me, this thing's been bone dry for a decade. Now don't go hammer down with that cutting wheel. Gradually cut the metal. Start with like making a small channel and then kind of commit to the cuts. I found it personally to be easier to start on the corners and then connect those corners with the longer lines. And of course, get rid of that rough edge for any kind of metal. Deburring hand tool is like the easiest way to get rid of it. This sheet metal is so thin, it actually just made matters worse. I just had to switch over to a file and a little bit of sandpaper. Now that this can is cracked wide open, we can deal with the dents. To fix this, we're going to use a finishing hammer. What makes this different is it has a flat peen and then also a pick. Don't know how to use it? It's in the name. This metal being so thin, we need reinforcement
with plywood.
Alright, for right now, we're just going to focus on the top and the bottom measurements. Take my measurements and I cut the height on the table saw. Then double check the width. I'll use the miter saw for that. Now, we got to replicate those rounded edges onto the wood. I just use knickknacks around the shop to see what's going to fit in that corner the best. Washers, coins, whatever. Once we find a winner, we can use that as a template. To save yourself a little time on the sander, just tape the two sides together. I still hate my Harbor Freight belt sander, but I love this new rubber butter stick. After a couple trips back and forth, we finally got a nice good dry fit. I do plan on using these holes for the project down the road, so we're just going to cut those out real quick. I'm using a Forstner bit for the smaller hole and a hole saw for the larger one. Now to attach this wood to the metal, we could use rivets or screws, but I'm going to go with 2-part epoxy. To ensure this epoxy sticks to that slick metal, we're going to rough it up using a wire brush. Don't worry how it looks, it's more about the texture, give it some grip. Anytime you're dealing with some like gnarly glue like this, wear some gloves. Epoxy is pretty easy. 1 part A, 1 part B, mix it together, then spread around like some nice marmalade. Once you have it nice and evenly spread, put it in place and clamp her down. So the epoxy takes about 15 minutes to set up. While that's drying, we'll start on the side panels. Now the top and bottom that we just installed, they needed the corners rounded off, but the side panels, they need the edges rounded off. With that done, let's see how round one stuck. Alright, now if my calculations are correct, this should Okay, now it should just slide right. All you gotta do now is just duplicate the epoxy process. Ooh, this is looking good. But before I can finish it up, I gotta work on this door. I mean, it's pretty much the same process as the shell. The only addition being, I'm gonna add this little 45-degree angle wood just to kind of beef up that corner. That'll come into play later. Well, now that that's drying, let's hop back over to the shell. This back plate, we gotta get a little bit more surgical with it. Hey, look! There's ducks in my front yard. This is an epoxy syringe. It has this tip on it that mixes it as you use it, and it allows me to kind of sneak in those corners. That way I can really stick that back plate to the existing wood, as well as fill in the gaps of my shoddy woodworking. Now before I go clear coating this thing, I'm going to clean up some of the edges using like a Dremel, and for clear coat we're going to use more epoxy. This stuff got all over the place and it's hard as nails, so let's f around and find out. I mean, it's a little lumpy, but it turned out pretty good. Hardware. This is a piano hinge. The cool thing is you can cut them down to the exact size that you need. And in this case, the exact shape that we need. I plan on leaving a couple tabs on there. It'll almost act like a door stop. Now I did have to drill some new holes because the screw heads were actually butting up against each other, and with the door in play, it had a little bit of complication, but it's an easy fix. So I learned on the shell that the deburring tool and then the file were kind of a pain in the ass. So with the door, I just waited for the epoxy to be dry so that way I can just sand the metal and the wood in one shot. Now, pro tip. Make sure your sander's plugged in. I'm going to be using these Chicago screws and then probably some super glue just to kind of beef it up a little bit. Didn't really have a whole lot of wood to work with after everything's been cut and ready to go. So hopefully this works. Now for the latch. I'm just gonna figure out like what the center of the door is, make a quick line of that, and just work right off that line. For the latch itself, I'm using one of these spring latches. It's going to give me a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more play, but also, they just look awesome. And let's finish this thing up with some rubber edging. It's like a U-channel of like rubber, and it has tape on the inside. When applying it, make sure to only peel one side of the tape at a time. Install it, and then peel the other side. Otherwise, those things are going to stick together, throw it out. This is going to clean up the edges, as well as fill that space from cutting in. Once you get all your edges done, that's a wrap.
Yeah, yeah.
The outside is cool, DIY looking, but the inside has like that touch of class to it. And that little experiment about using like 2-part epoxy adhesive, like as more of a clear coat, it paid off. This thing is hard and rugged. You can take a beating.
I love him.
But I love how the front is very subtle. You can barely even tell that it's like something more than just a gas can.
I forgot my mic again.
Gotta say, love the way this thing turned out. This isn't just a toolbox. I mean, well, you could, but you could use it to plan a pretty picnic at the park. You could use it to like be like one of like those like hide in plain sight safes. That's where you keep your retirement plan. But I'm using it for something totally different. See, I've got this really cool bike. Just needs a couple improvements on it. And this cool little contraption, is gonna make it perfect. I am so sorry this is taking so long. There is progress, but the biggest problem being is I got a new toy. And in order to use this thing, you gotta play with it to learn how to use it. And I've been tooling around with it, playing with it, trying to figure out how to be a welder. So it's taking me a little bit of time. If you wanna see how this bike actually turns out, don't join a cult, join my page. I'm not gonna solve your life problems, but hey, hopefully you'll forget that you live in a dumpster fire for a little bit. All right, subscribe, thumb, bell, like me, love me, adore me, tell me I'm pretty. Bye.